It's a completely different reality. I feel like I'm living in a dystopian future in which I know of, and I know that there's internet and Wi-Fi, but I can't have access to those things. I don't have water.
We just need a lot of water. It's really hard to find it.
We fell through the cracks.
With basic supplies hard to come by and most of the island still in the dark, the road to recovery in Puerto Rico is slow and frustrating. Thanks for joining Nightside. I'm Carolina Leid.
And I'm Katie McCall. It's been 3 weeks since Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico, but if you went to most areas of the island, you would think it just happened yesterday.
And we've heard your concerns that not enough is being done to help, and people aren't paying enough attention to what's happening there.
That's right. 84% of the island is still without power, and only about a third of the cell phone towers there are actually working. In rural areas, many people say they have little food and even less water. With standing water, piles of debris, and trash building up, disease is also becoming a very big concern there. The House of Representatives is set to vote on a $36.5 billion energy funding bill tomorrow, which includes money for Puerto Rico. It's still unclear when the Senate will vote on that bill. House Speaker Paul Ryan, though, will visit the island on Friday. CBS News reporter David Begnaud has been covering the situation in Puerto Rico since the very beginning. And tonight he says the FBI and Puerto Rican authorities are investigating claims of possible fraud involving hurricane relief aid. He posted on Twitter that the allegations involve aid meant for FEMA and other agencies being diverted from the people who need it. And authorities are looking into any other criminal wrongdoing related to donations. As we learn more about these investigations, we'll be sure to relay that information to you.
And tonight we have team coverage on the different ways the Bay Area is helping Puerto Rico. Nightside reporter Bo Zimmer and I were there when a plane chartered by the Tampa Bay Rays returned from the island.
Yeah, this is the plane the Rays normally fly on to get to their games. They sent this plane filled with medical supplies, nurses, and equipment to a city called Ponce on the southern part of Puerto Rico. And when the plane came back, it was filled with desperate hurricane survivors, some in urgent need of medical care.
And I had a chance to talk to a few of them once they landed. Jessie Solano didn't eat for 3 days. The 91-year-old was alone in her home in Mayagüez, not sure if she would survive. Her daughter, Lisette Rios, felt helpless, trying everything she could to get her mother here to Florida. But it seemed impossible. At midnight Tuesday, she got a call, a lifeline. The Tampa Bay Rays had a plane, and they had a seat for her mother. As many hugged and cried at Tampa International Airport, they told me it is hard to be happy knowing so many people are still suffering in Puerto Rico.
Sobre Puerto Rico, ¿cómo se ve? Agua.
Todo está barrido, destruido completo. No tenemos agua, no tenemos teléfono. Lo esencial para vivir no lo tenemos.
Jamás habíamos pensado que podíamos sufrir tanto con un desastre como ese.
We brought a bunch of insulin as well.
Dr. Eli Maris Perez Colon worked with a group of doctors to get to the small towns, places people can't get medical attention that they desperately need.
Despite everything else that is going on, they are in good spirits. They are making the best of it. They're getting together as a community and cleaning the areas, cleaning the streets, and definitely helping each other with whatever little things they have received. They are really helping each other.
Carolina, as you saw, many of these people today getting off this plane were elderly. Many are going through cancer treatment. Moffitt Cancer Center actually partnered with the Rays on this trip. They had multiple nurses on board the aircraft to make sure none of these fragile patients had any medical issues on the flight. The Rays have players, coaches, and front office staff from Puerto Rico, and they talked today about why this mission was so personal.
My family is on the island, and I saw my aunt for the first time today at the airport, and we have Charlie Montoya's parents here today and countless other staff members. I don't think it was ever a question of should we do something, but what can we do to make the biggest impact?
Yeah, the Rays, a close-knit family there. Moffitt has also partnered on a massive research project studying cancer treatment specific to Hispanics And when the storm hit, a large number of tissue samples were in danger of being lost, which would have set back the research about 10 years or more. Those samples were rescued and brought back to Moffett here in Tampa. We're told future trips are also planned as soon as they can raise some more money to get these aircraft down there and more supplies. By the way, St. Pete Mayor Rick Kreisman, he was also on today's trip. He says it's time to cut through the red tape and start saving lives.
Important information, they're important lives, people that need the help right now.
Yeah.
Great work. Katie.
Guys, while people in Puerto Rico are certainly suffering, so are their pets. Nightside reporter Mark Rivera shows you the Suncoast Animal League volunteers putting their own boots on the ground tomorrow morning to help.
The video is hard to watch. Dogs and cats in Puerto Rico, skin and bones after Hurricane Maria. Some trapped in cages as people work to bring them the little food they can.
It pulls at your heartstrings, it pulls at every string that you have to see that.
It's devastating. It's hard to just sit and watch that and not feel like you have to go out there and do something to help them.
That's why Suncoast Animal League in Palm Harbor is sending 4 people and the few donated supplies they can. They're taking a commercial flight to help the animals in Puerto Rico and to get the lay of the land for a larger animal relief effort soon.
We're like the recon team. We're going down here to recon it. We have dog food, dry and wet food, IV kits, first aid kits, flea and tick preventative medicine, anything that could help the dogs once we're there.
And when the food runs out, something to give these animals a fighting chance on their own.
The team is bringing 125 vaccines for dogs, about 2 dozen worth for cats, $2,000 worth of donated medical supplies in a rescue they say is the hardest they've ever planned.
They need help just as much as the people need help down there, and we're going to go down there and do it.
In Palm Harbor, Mark Rivera, 10 News.
And those volunteers hope to bring animals back during this first trip. Unfortunately, though, they're limited to just 1 per person.
Suncoast Animal League is accepting donations if you would like to help with their mission. We have a link on our website, WTSP.com.
And some more trouble for Puerto Rico tonight. Parts of the island are seeing some flash floods.
Meteorologist Bobby Deskins has been looking into it.
Yeah, right. We're tracking the weather there as much as we can. They had 2 main radars. A small one's called a terminal Doppler radar at the airport, destroyed during the storm. The bigger one, a National Weather Service radar, just like the one we have out in Ruskin, looks like that. Well, right after the storm, it looked like that. It's gone. No radar, but we do have satellite imagery, and you can see some storms that were over the area earlier. This is color enhanced. The reds are the taller cloud tops. The rain has basically stopped for the most part now, but there is a risk of that dam failure. The Guajataca Dam, that's the one we've been talking about for a while, so there's a flash flood warning for that. Temperatures in the mountains in the mid-70s, along the coast about 80 degrees, but it's this area east of Isabella that they're really watching. They have been working on it. It's tough to see here, but there's a National Guard helicopter. They're filling this spillway here with some bags of cement to try and shore this thing up a little bit. And good news tonight is that this big batch of rain here, I think for the most part, will go in between Puerto Rico and Hispaniola.
Well, there is no end in sight to the wildfires that are burning out of control in California. At least 21 people are dead and 3,500 buildings have been burned down. Those include homes, schools, hotels, and wineries. More evacuations were ordered again today. Dry, powerful winds are picking up again right now. Fire crews are worried that those conditions will fan the flames, making it harder to find the hundreds of people who are still missing. This wildfire outbreak is already the 3rd most destructive in that state's history.
And Katie, entire wine country neighborhoods have been destroyed by these fires. An editor from the San Francisco Chronicle took pictures to show some locations before and after the flames. First, Signorello Vineyards in Napa. You can take a look at that, the building from the same angle, and then you see what it looks like. It is consumed by fire, just heartbreaking. And then you have this mobile home park in Santa Rosa before the wildfires. Take a look at what it looks like now. This is the neighborhood. I mean, you can see there's nothing left here. And then you have this. This is Cardinal Newman High School, also in Santa Rosa. Look at this, that same cross that you saw in the original image, right? The last thing really standing there. The flames, including 18 classrooms, a library, and the front office, all destroyed. The principal has canceled classes for all 620 students for the rest of the week.
Certainly wishing those people the best and better weather for them going forward. You've probably heard this major announcement today. It's been a bit controversial. The Boy Scouts of America has changed its policy and now will start accepting girls.
Yeah, and you've been voting on this at WTSP.com/vote now all day long. The majority of you by far think this is a bad idea. That's 80%. 14% say it's about time. So I'm going to go over what this change really means and why the Boy Scouts actually decided to do this. So Boy Scouts of America says girls between ages 7 and 10 will be allowed to join the Cub Scouts program. Cub Scout dens will have either all boys or all girls, but larger Cub Scout packs will accept both boys and girls. Then in 2019, a separate program for older girls will be created, allowing them to earn the top rank of Eagle Scout. Now, the girl who started a Change.org petition to admit girls into the program says high-level scouting creates opportunity, and with opportunity comes a chance at success in the global community. Sydney Ireland wanted to go through the same experience her brother did on his path to becoming an Eagle Scout.
It's amazing to see the Boy Scouts make this change because it shows that they really care about the future of this country, which includes young women now.
The Boy Scouts have been considering the move for months despite strong opposition from the Girl Scouts. They've been accusing the Boy Scouts of trying to compensate for low recruitment numbers. Right now, there are about 2.3 million Boy Scouts. That is down from more than 2.5 million in 2013 and way down from more than 4 million in its peak years of the past. Now keep voting at WTSP.com/vote now and let us know what you think about the Boy Scouts accepting girls. You can also tap the Vote Now section on the free 10 News app.
Here are some of the stories you need to know tonight. President Trump was at a Pennsylvania truck stop earlier this evening and talked about how he wants to cut taxes for middle-class workers.
The first $12,000 for a single individual and the first $24,000 for a married couple will be tax-free, no tax at all.
The president said his tax plan will cut corporate taxes and create more jobs, but Democrats say it will only benefit the wealthiest Americans. And TMZ is reporting that Harvey Weinstein's daughter called 911 this morning to say her father was suicidal. The two were reportedly in an argument at his daughter Remy's house. LAPD confirmed to TMZ they were called to his house, but say Harvey was gone by the time they arrived. Remy later denied her father is suicidal. Nearly 30 women have accused the movie executive of sexual harassment or assault. He's been fired from the studio he co-founded, and his wife has reportedly left him.
Some video of an incident at a Gainesville clinic, an after-hours clinic, has gone viral. It's a patient who showed up to the clinic. She didn't feel well, and she was waiting for a while, and she got very upset.
Yeah, that's when things got a hand. So Jessica Stipe said she waited for more than an hour when she was feeling too weak to continue waiting. She asked to get her copay back, $80. She got it back. And after that is when this video picks up. Take a look.
Do you want to be seen or not?
I want to go home and get in my bed. I'm
Then fine,
miserable.
get the hell out. Get your money and get the hell out.
I did. But that
See you
right
later.
there is just rude. That's
Really?
disrespectful. Very.
Really? If you go to Care Spot, you're waiting for 3 hours.
I don't know
Go
about-
to the ER and wait for 9 hours.
Okay, you can get out of her.
Out of my office.
Yeah, it didn't stop there. The doctor then grabbed the phone from Stipe's daughter, who was recording the incident.
What's your name? You're recording us? Give me my phone. I'm about to hit him, please. He's gonna get hit. I'm calling them. Give me my phone.
Now, the doctor's claiming that the woman threatened the staff
with
and
violence.
refused to leave before she was able to record that video.
Yeah, he said that she was abusive to the staff and
Yeah.
that she had refused to leave before he came back out to see her. He also mentioned that he had already seen her, he'd already
Yeah.
taken her urine, so he hadn't come back to see her again, which I think is an important detail in the whole thing. But he did apologize
Yeah.
for his behavior. He came out and said, you know, regardless of her, that he was in the wrong too.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about the tropics real fast. We still have Ophelia out there. It's actually a hurricane that happened earlier this evening, but it's way out there, over 2,600 miles to our east. Winds tonight, though, up to 85 miles per hour. So it's actually a pretty strong storm out there, but you can see it's going to continue off to the north and the east. That's Saturday night at about 85 mile per hour winds. And then look at that, yeah, west of Portugal, Spain, some surf for France, and Ireland could get about 70, 65 mile per hour winds right along the coast. It's not unheard of that these systems end up in that area. They're generally subtropical at that time because they have much cooler water underneath of them. Here's one thing though. Ophelia set a record. Going back to Franklin, and every storm between Franklin and Ophelia, 10 in a row, they all became hurricanes. As far as we go back into the mid-1800s with our records, that's never happened, 10 in a row, all making hurricane status. But that did it today. Speaking of records, look at that high temperature. 93 degrees in Tampa. That beat our old record of 92 degrees. It's October the 11th. It's ridiculous. The average high temperature is 85. Tomorrow, just about the same, about 91 degrees. Let's take you live out to the TIA out there this evening. This is from the Renaissance Hotel International Plaza. We have cooled off a little bit out there. Not much rain to help us out today to cool off, but we're down to about 81 degrees with a dew point of 70. So it's getting a little bit muggier out there, and that trend will continue as we get into tomorrow. Temps mid-70s inland, Mulberry, Bartow, Lakeland, Wauchula, all in the mid-70s, 82 in St. Pete, 75 in Crystal River, 77 right now in Sarasota. And rain, well, it's pretty dry out there right now. No rain this evening. There is more in the Bahamas, and you can see it sinking south-southwest there. That's part of this upper level low. You can see the big spin right there. That's all backing off towards the west, and that means that tomorrow's one more dry day, but then the moisture associated that will get in here Friday and Saturday and even into Sunday, and so we'll have better rain chances. This is Friday morning right here. We'll start dry with a few clouds, though, and then look at Friday afternoon, more scattered showers and storms, about a 40% bet. And then look at Saturday afternoon. It's not in the morning, it's not the first half of the day, but the second half of the day, I think we're really going to fill in the rain there. So Saturday and Sunday, pretty decent afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Better chance if you're trying to make plans. Saturday, about 50 to 60% versus 50% on Sunday. 91 for a daytime high tomorrow, and yeah, that humidity is creeping up just a little bit, down in the upper 60s at times today. That'll be in the low 70s late tomorrow and tomorrow night. Northeast winds for our boaters, 5 to 10 knots, 1 to 2 foot seas, and it'll get about 3 foot at times out there. It'll be a light chop on the bay, though. There's those rain chances going up Saturday into Sunday. Next week, I think we continue to see the rain moving through. This system will move out of the way, but will continue with an easterly flow. And so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, about a 40 to 50% chance for those afternoon showers and storms. A little bit drier and a little bit cooler with some more clouds around by the middle of next week.
Now, from your Suncoast Hyundai dealers, this is 10 Sports.
The pushback on the NFL's anthem protests is deafening, and it has certainly caused a rift between the league's owners, players, and its fans. Jerry Jones said he thought the controversy would just go away. Well, it hasn't, but the league is making progress in trying to quell it. NFL owners reportedly were set to consider a rule change next week that would require players to stand for the anthem. The Bucs' Gerald McCoy believes a rule change would enrage those players. Here's what he had to say on an ESPN podcast.
It's going to be a negative reaction. I don't think guys are going to like it. I think it's going to be an uproar if that is to happen, because you're basically taking away a constitutional right to freedom of speech. And if guys want to have I guess you would call it a peaceful protest, I don't think it's right to take that away from guys. Now it's like you have a voice at one point, but then you don't at this point. And if you take that away, I don't think people are going to take too kindly to it.
The League and the Players Association releasing a joint statement today saying players will take part in next week's anthem discussion, and that quote, "There has been no change in the current policy regarding the anthem." The statement says the sides are coming together to deal with these issues in a civil and constructive way. We've seen just one player kneel in baseball, but let it be on record that New Marlins owner Derek Jeter would be okay with one of his Marlins players if they chose to protest during the anthem. Meanwhile, Jeter's replacement in the Bronx, he is earning his pinstripes. Didi Gregorius already broke Jeter's high mark for a Yankee shortstop as far as homers is concerned, and now he is eyeing Reggie Jackson's title as Mr. October. I mean, Sir Didi with maybe his finest moment as a Yankee in Cleveland, a multi-homer night in Game 5, something Derek Jeter never did in the postseason. Solo shot And right there, the 2-run shot, which, by the way, set up CC Sabathia with some room to work. First pitcher in postseason history with 9 Ks in fewer than 5 frames. Eventually gave up a pair, but the pinstripe pen shutting it down so far. It's 3-2 Yankees in the 9th. Winner faces the Astros in the ALCS. Well, the Red Sox knocked out by said Astros, and it cost manager John Farrell his job. Crazy, considering he won a World Series and 2 AL East titles during his 5 seasons in Boston. The Red Sox now looking for their 4th manager since 2011. The Rays have had 2 skippers over that same span. Kevin Cash and this guy, Joe Maddon. Maybe you've heard of him. Maddon and the defending champion Cubs trying to clinch a spot in the NLCS today, but Washington had other plans. Game 5 at Wrigley. Steven Strasburg, he keeping Maddon and the Cubs, having to wait maybe another day for a trip to the NLCS. Strasburg fought off the flu, making the Cubs look ill, striking out 12, allowing 3 hits. Michael Taylor padding the lead with a grand slam. Game 5 tomorrow night.
There was a familiar sight off the east coast of Florida this afternoon.
3, 2, 1, 0.
It just doesn't get old. That is awesome. That's
Cool.
a SpaceX rocket lifting off from Kennedy Space Center. Get this, it's SpaceX's 2nd rocket launch in just 2 days, and it's 15th of the year.
Yeah, the rocket was carrying a commercial communications satellite, and that rocket was recycled from a mission back in February. So cool they can do that.
That's
Yeah.
right. And for the 11th time, the leftover booster rocket successfully landed on a drone ship. How cool is that? Off the coast. I don't even know how you
they
make
do
that
it? I know.
happen,
I don't
right?
know.
This is
I
so
don't know.
science fiction-y, but it's real. And that can now be recycled, and now it can be used on future missions.
I love it.
Just a genius
Yeah.
it takes to do this stuff. I love it.
They named it Of Course I Still Love You, which I love that. Good night.
Thank you.